Something about these guys that something in their stare that I think maybe we'll never get used to. Always get a little bit of flutter in the stomach or a jump in the heart when they look at you. There's just something really awesome and spectacular about the way they look at things. Charles again. Charles copied that. I couldn't quite understand what was going on. That other Madoda was saying what Mafazi and Galas, are they close to the Nyama or are they still far away?
They were coming close to Nyama, but they came around the southern back.
Okay, and Komos and Info. Yeah, and then there's just one Madoda Kodjeng here and the other one is Lalapanzi in the Slatin. So there's just a bit of radio update there. It's always tricky to predict things relative to sort of other input from the radios, but that vehicle had seen two lionesses and they were slowly heading this direction, but I'm sure maybe they picked up the scent of these males but too sensitive still to come back in here, so they've headed back north again. So it looks like they're not going to come down here. It's chewing through. It's very thick giraffe skin. The skin itself will be probably about 7-8 millimeters thick, just a little bit under a centimeter, so it's a very tough skin. If you were cutting that with a knife, you would need a very sharp knife and it'll get blunt quite quickly. Yet this lion can just cut his way through it with those carnassial shears. Very specialized teeth. Yeah, you can hear the cutting sound of it. Probably just over the microphones as well, but just as James was mentioning there, you can hear the cutting sound as such. Puzzling, eh? He's literally sticking his whole face under that skin, in between the skin and the ribcage. Look at that. Yeah. And again, look at the paws. You can just see the nail tips sticking out from those nail sheaths. Another thing, like I said a few times already with these males, those claw marks on the skin there as well, on the giraffe skin. But with these males, they've got very big paws and very thick legs. The forearm part of the leg, if you want. The wrist down to the paw, the elbow down to the paw. It's very strong lions. Not the biggest, not the heaviest, and not the bulkiest I've ever seen, but they are fit as anything. And as we've learnt, and as maybe more importantly other lions have learnt, they really are a force to not only be reckoned with, but to be respected afterwards. Look at that. Yes. Strong. Powerful. breakfast this morning before we left. The smell would have been hard in an empty stomach. Look at that forearm. Now again, the scale of these animals is sometimes difficult to appreciate, but that front part of his leg going down to the paw would be about the same thickness as I'm almost going to say the upper leg of an average human. It is very thick. It's hard to really appreciate. Like I said before, that paw, and these guys have got big paws without the nails, just with the nails we track position, the same size as the side of your head. As soon as the nails were to stretch out, it would almost wrap around over half of your head. So they really are massive, massive, strong animals. His tail, for instance, at the base of his tail would be about the same diameter or thickness as the top of my forearm. Difficult to always appreciate how just incredibly powerful these animals are. Oh, I like these lions. Quite impressed by the fact that he's still eating. He's very full. His belly noticeably larger than when he walked in here, but yet he's managing to stuff a few more morsels of meat into his belly. You can see a little mark, almost like a round tattoo on his shoulder blade. Well, yesterday we mentioned that is one of the easy ways to recognize shark at the moment. You still get to know the features, and more specifically the lions on a long-term basis is the whisker spots. You almost get like a barcode count from the whisker spots, but in this case he's got that nice mark on the shoulder for us to recognize him by.